Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I'll be doing a kind of daily makeup, a mood inspired, color scheme inspired type of video where I kind of take inspiration from anything really and sort of with the trends merge it all together and come up with a talk through tutorial. And today the look that I have is very tonally accurate to that of my favorite drink, which is our Singapore milk tea. It's called Teh in Singapore. So yeah, I just wanted to go with the mood scheme of this drink, as well as, you know, just come up with a different kind of concept where I play with a full face of Fenty Beauty and also stick true to a color theme. If you guys want to see how I did it, then just stay till the end. Okay, I first started out with the 3 Fenty Beauty primers. The very first launch was the Soft Filt'r, I believe. I think it's called Soft Filt'r. Pro Filt'r Instant Retouch Primer. It's known to be kind of like a soft matte. This texture is a little bit thicker than the rest, so I use it for the purpose of blurring my pores and having really smooth, flawless skin. And the 2 new launches would be the True Matte, the white one, as well as Soft Silk, and this is the Hydrating Primer. I would say in terms of texture, this would be the runniest, the soft matte, so I intend to use this where I typically get oily, so you see me applying it there. And then I use the Pro Filt'r sort of in my enlarged pore areas and areas where I kind of want a smooth, non-textured surface, because I do have lumps and bumps sometimes from exfoliation or that time of the month. So I use the kind of Pro Filt'r in the outer perimeters of my face. And for ultimate hydration, or at least something to give a little bit of vibrancy, I use the hydrating primer only on the cheek area. So I just do 2 pumps and I pat it into the cheek area of my face. And I find the combination of the 3, even though it's super extra to use all 3 primers, is kind of, it works to the benefit of the makeup look, which is something where, you know, you want the skin to be really the prime focus and, you know, have all the bronzers, blushes, highlight to glide on. So that is very important that we get that step right. For the base, because I've used kind of both foundations at separate occasions, I'll leave them in the cards here and show you my review. Check out the description box for these individual foundations. You guys saw me try the Hydrating Pro Filt'r foundation recently. I decided to use the shade 210 as well as a pump of the original matte foundation in the shade 190. So a pump of this and a pump of this. I find that mixing the 2 gives me kind of an ideal balance in the middle. So I mix the 2 together. And I find that when I apply a very thin layer across the face, it really gives that very, you know, adhering skin-like quality to the skin that lasts a whole day. And for me, I really love the Fenty foundations. I highly recommend people get it if you have never tried it before, simply because it is a product that I would say if you use very little, you still get epic coverage, but also it doesn't feel too heavy on the skin. And in Singapore, especially when you're starting to sweat and when the humidity gets really high, it still lasts on my skin really well, and I love how it looks. It's so full coverage, and you know, it still looks very kind of natural in the way it reflects the light, so I love that. You guys have seen me use this before. It's the concealer from Fenty Beauty. I ended up using it only in the center areas of my face, and throughout you guys have seen me use this brush. This is not from Fenty Beauty, but it's from BloomKit. I'll leave the link below. It's a local brand. I really like the shape of this brush and also the way the fibers absorb the product to give a very natural finish. Even though this concealer is super high coverage, I just kind of pat it in the areas. The brush will absorb some of the product, but it spreads it out really well. And I also primed my eye area for the eyeshadow, but I love how I just used this brush for all my foundation and my concealer, and it looked really good. My skin looks very flawless, very airbrushed, and it's a thanks to a combination of the brush as well as the products. Zipping through this section, I've tried the kind of loose powder from Fenty before. I really like it. It's super soft. I think recently I posted up a Pat McGrath kind of video. I find that these 2 powders are very similar. It's super fine. It feels like it's just the finest powder. Your skin just feels super soft after using it. I'm in the shade Butter, and I just kind of put powder in my essential areas. I don't like to powder my full face, especially if I want kind of the radiance to come through. I just naturally powder a little bit under my eye and my nose, this area and sometimes around my nose to prevent it from slipping and sliding. Okay, other new launches. Fenty Beauty keeps dropping new products after new products. These are the brow pencils from Fenty Beauty. I went with 2 shades. One is ash brown and black brown. So these two give me a nice combination. I really like ash brown. It's like that taupey shade where, you know, you could fill in as much as you want and you can't really tell that you overdrawn it. It's a very good shade for that shadow-like effect. And then go in with a darker brow pencil just to fill in the kind of sparse areas at the end of my brow to give it a gradient effect. And the very interesting thing about these brow pencils is that it's not a typical kind of brush at the end. It kind of looks like a toothbrush rather than a spoolie. And yeah, I don't know whether it actually will fulfill the needs of a lot of people. I think it's cute, but it's not very functional in terms of the brush. And for the sake of sort of showing you more products, I went in with the kind of Fenty Beauty sticks, the match sticks that started it all. I have the shade Amber. I use that as a very natural contouring, and I also went to kind of contour my nose, but in a very natural way, not to chisel it out completely. And kind of for radiance on the cheeks, I went in with the shade Trippin', which is like, I would describe it as a coral with gold sparkles in it, and that's just to kind of give a little bit of vibrancy to the cheeks. And after all of that, I kind of went in with the famous Fenty Beauty Moroccan Spice palette. For me, particularly in this look, because I wanted that kind of everyday vibe, the daily kind of milk tea vibe. I'm not sure why they call it that. I believe it started in Korea, but whatever it is, I went in with this shade. It's like a neutral kind of brown all over the eye, just to kind of mark out the lid space. As you can see, for Asians, we typically have mono lids, so I started out with that step so that it gives a very nice kind of lid space for us to play with. And then I went in with this kind of a pinky shade just to give a halo effect. I stamped it on the inner corner, stamped it on the outer corner, and kind of gave that definition and created a well in the middle where I could place my bronze sparkle, which is this shade that I used. I just pressed it in the middle. You don't have to be too precise at this stage. You just need to make sure the halo effect, the inner and outer corner, is in place, and the center where you press the glitter. And after that, I went in with a fluffy brush together with that brown shade we used initially just to blend everything together, and that gave me a very beautiful eye look, which is a very nice play on, you know, tea when they're just kind of dripping into hot water. It kind of diffuses itself into the water and you see like the very concentrated brown that sits. To me, like, I just imagine that the gradient effect is just kind of sipping into the water. Yeah, as you can tell, I have quite a wild imagination. So after my eyeliner and mascara, I decided to go back into the Fenty Beauty eyeliner, which is a summer launch, I believe, but these are super pigmented. I used the peachy shade just to give a pop of color on the inner corner because I felt like it needed a bit more peachy color rather than just strictly brown. I went in with another matte bronzer. These Sunstalker bronzers from Fenty Beauty is like so good. The shades are amazing, and I used this shade In the Sun, and look at the color, it's so perfect. I really wanted the highlight to be this bronzer, which is why everything else I tried to keep, you know, very focused on the fact that the skin was going to be really bronzy and very airy and just perfect. And a lot of this look was because of the fact that I knew I was going to be using this bronzer. Then I went in with the Kilowatt Duo. This is the new one in Afternoon Snack and Mo Honey, which is, so these two shades are very champagne golden bronzy tones. Just went on the high places and gave that a very nice kiss of sunlight. Also highlighted my nose, and that's pretty much it for the skin. Okay, so for a lip liner kind of replacement, I would say I used the matte Moselle's lipstick from Fenty Beauty. Look at this stunning packaging. It's like so reflective and beautiful. I used a combination of the shade Freckle and Up to No Good, combination of these two on a lip brush, and just outline my lips. I felt that that on its own was a little bit too bright, like a bit too bright orange, so I went in with the liquid lipstick from Fenty Beauty, and this is in the shade Unveiled, and it's a very beautiful brown. It's like truly neutral. It's nothing that swings pink, which I love. I love neutrals that don't have a hint of pink in them. So that is a matte finish, but I wanted the skin to be a little bit more glossy, so I went in with the new Gloss Bomb in Diamond Milk, and I placed that in the middle for the final touches to this look. And that is the final look, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's just my take on kind of that milk tea vibe, trend, color story, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, really inspired to do a look on that. I find that this, I would say, is super wearable for like brunch or something with your friends. If you are a bit more self-conscious, definitely adjust to what you are comfortable with. If you guys enjoyed this, do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And yes, don't forget to share it with your family and friends, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!